Varsity Life, presented by Ulucci Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy. Call today and get better tomorrow.
Hi everyone, I'm Frank Carpano. Welcome to Varsity Life. We are live each and every Monday night at 7:30 right here on Cox Sports Television, and we're streamed live on the internet at turnto10.com. Tonight on Varsity Life, we kick off March Madness, recapping the division semifinals and championships that took place this past week. Then we'll reveal the upcoming state basketball tournament brackets on the road to the state title. Wrestling state championships took place this weekend. We'll see which teams and individuals took home titles. And there was a first in Rhode Island boys basketball this year. We'll show you what that is. And of course, we'll bring you the top 5 plays of the week. All that and more tonight on Varsity Life. We begin tonight with the road to the state tournament. This year's format for boys basketball playoffs has changed. The division playoffs will be followed by a state tournament that will include all the divisions. We'll reveal the 16 teams in the state tournament in just a moment, but let's begin with the Division I semifinals, which featured the 7-time Division I champions Hendricken taking on Central. Central looking to knock out Hendricken out of their pursuit of that 8th straight division title. Hendricken down 2 when Justin Colenda finds Lee Messier outside the arc, and just like that, the Hawks led it by 1, 59-58. Later, Central's Daniel Mendez drills a long shot, and Central had a 2-point lead. They'd go on to win it. 79-75 was the final. The other side of that bracket had Coventry playing Cranston West. West down 2 when Connor Gerskov steals it, and Brian Yarcy takes it in for the points. Game tied at 25. Later, it's Yarcy again. He reached the 1,000-point mark a couple of weeks ago. That bucket made it 32-31. Yarcy finished with 23 points as the Falcons advanced. 68-55 was the final. So for the Division I title, it was Cranston West versus Central. Yarcy drives to the basket here. What a night he had. He finished with 30 points. Now Central's Robert Lewis lining up and hitting a 3, actually driving inside here. But Cranston West came back and sent it to overtime. Stephen Rush with a 3 gives West the lead. They go on to take it. 73-69 was the final.
Never give up. We play defense. Our defense has been our thing the whole year. Guys didn't quit. Our senior leadership, Yarcy, Rush, Deal, never gave up. Never gave up whatsoever, and we just wanted little bites at the time. We thought we were dying with the last couple minutes, but again, you saw it. We didn't quit.
Westerly and North Providence squared off in D2. Check out Austin Van Bemelman. Westerly had a 17-point lead at the half. Zach Wells had 20, but North Providence battled back to win it with a strong second half. The final in this game was 65-57. The other Division II semifinal, Rogers and Barrington. Here's Barrington's Benjamin Engvall with the hoop, 2 of his 21 points. Eagles led this one late, but Rogers got 2 key 3-pointers from Mark Washington. This one proved to be the game winner. Rogers takes it 58-55. North Providence played Rogers for the D2 crown. Rogers cheerleaders on hand. A highlight reel bucket here. Check out the slam by Rogers' Devon Bailey. Later, North Providence's Greg Conroy. A long 3-pointer is good as NP goes on to win the D2 title. 66-63 was the final.
We've been resilient all year. We've been behind, but the kids always fought back. It's the first championship since 1988, so it's been a long time coming. I can't say enough of how hard the kids have worked, and it's just a tremendous feeling. It really is, and owe it all to these guys right here. They work hard all year.
Congratulations. Now for the Division III tournament, which ended up being the tournament that would shake up the state brackets. Let's start at the top-seeded Johnston Panthers and 4th-seeded Prout. Prout took the early lead off of this John King 3-pointer. The Crusaders were up by as many as 15, but Johnston, they fight back. Big man Isaac Medeiros with the putback. Prout pulls ahead thanks to King. Check out the fadeaway jumper here. Prout wins it 51-44. So Prout meets the winner of the Juanita Sanchez and East Greenwich game in the D3 finals. 3rd-seeded EG jumped out to an early 9-point lead on Sanchez with a Sam Payette bucket, but Juanita Sanchez finally takes the lead just before the half with a 3 from the corner, courtesy of Alejandro Reguilo. Sanchez up 2. Second half, back and forth till EG bounces back with a runner from Payette. Putting the Avengers up 1, they would never look back. EG holds on to win it 53-49 the final, upsetting 18-1 Sanchez. So for the Division III final, which was the biggest game of the day because the winner of this game gained a berth into the state basketball tournament, 4th-seeded Prout took on 3rd-seeded EG. Ben Thompson had the hot hand for Prout, pumped in 18 points. Sam Payette in double digits for EG. He had 11, but it's Prout prevailing. For the Division III title, 47-35 was the final, punching their ticket to the tournament.
It was a great run. It's been a long year. We've been through a lot of highs and lows, but I give the credit to these guys. They stepped up in the big moment in the tournament and won a big game for us. And it's the first basketball championship at the Prout School, and can't say anything more than I'm just thrilled.
All right, and joining us now are the co-chairman of the high school boys basketball state tournament, North Providence High School Principal Joe Goho, and Mike Sollitto, the principal at Scituate High School. How are you, gentlemen?
Good, very good.
A tough process putting together the field of 16, which we'll reveal in just a couple of minutes.
It was. I think it went back really to last year's playoffs when Joe and I were speaking with Mr. Mezzanotti, Interscholastic League, and really thinking about possibly having an open tournament this year. So it's been a long process over the last year or so.
Why the change, Joe?
Well, the timing was right. There's been a tremendous amount of parity in boys basketball throughout the state over the last couple of years, and this is something that's been talked about. And so we were very happy to get input from all the key stakeholders and bring it together this year, and we hope that it's going to bring some tremendous excitement to basketball.
So how important was it to keep the division tournaments, which were just completed this past weekend, and we just showed highlights of?
No, I think that was really key. The basketball committee really was a subcommittee that met to discuss this, and one of the key components was really not to de-emphasize the divisional playoffs. We didn't want to take any emphasis off of that. That really is a crowning moment for some of those kids to earn that division, that division title. Mm-hmm. At the same time, we also wanted to open it up and have Division II and Division III teams have a chance really in an open state tournament where you'd have one state champion.
Right. I know that when there are changes made in high school sports, there's everyone's always on board with this. There's never anybody who's not happy with it. But what were the points of concern from people who weren't behind what you wanted to do?
Well, I think the issue was to make sure that we had proper emphasis on the regular season as well as the divisional playoffs, and not to de-emphasize those experiences for kids. But I have to say, generally, there was a tremendous amount of support and will to get this done, and we received input from the Coaches Association, the athletic directors, superintendents, members of the league. Tom Mezzanotti's leadership in this was essential as well, and it all came together pretty easily, and we were very pleased.
All right, let's take a look now at the field of 16 teams that will play in the state boys basketball tournament in Region 1. That's on the left side of your screen. The matchups from top to bottom. Prout will take on Cranston West, and Portsmouth plays North Providence. The winners will play each other in the next round. The next group, St. Ray's against Westerly. West Warwick takes on Coventry. We'll move to the other side of the bracket. That's on the right side of your screen. In Region 2, Hendricken plays Johnston. LaSalle takes on Tiverton. And in the lower half of that bracket, North Kingstown against Rogers, and Juanita Sanchez takes on Central. So what went into the decision of who played who and on what side of the bracket they were on?
Well, we started, first of all, we had to have obviously an even number of teams, and a decision had to be made on how many Division I teams, how many Division II teams, how many Division III teams.
And how does that break down?
It breaks down as 8 teams from Division I, 5 teams from Division II, and 3 teams from Division III. Where it got a little tricky was the seeding for those teams. We based it, the sports committee really based it on the regular season standings at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. However, if a non-seeded team or a team that was a lower seed, for example, Prout, ended up winning the division, they would then get a shot at the open bracket, the open state tournament, and they would bump out the highest seed or lowest seed team.
So Hendricken, which lost in the semifinals, made it into this state tournament, and there were a couple of other games that maybe didn't finish as people had expected it. How did that wreak havoc at all with what you wanted to do in the brackets?
Not necessarily. Our goal at the beginning of the year was to come up with a format that was simple, straightforward, and transparent. And we know there were going to be glitches and things that we could improve along the way. And at the end of this season, we'll reconvene the sports committee and get input on how we can make it better. But at this point, we're really excited about next week, and I think the rest of the state is as well.
All right. So the games will be played this coming week. How does that break down?
They start on Thursday. Thursday night there's 2 games. There's also 2 games on Friday.
Right.
And then we have 4 games on Saturday, a full slate of games.
Right.
Those will all be held at the Providence Career and Tech Academy.
Okay.
And then the following week we have 2 games on Monday, 2 games on Tuesday.
Also in Providence?
Also in Providence.
Okay.
And then the following weekend, that Friday night, we'll have our Final Four at the Ryan Center, followed by our state championship game on Saturday, also at the Ryan Center.
Is this an experimental one-year thing, or is this something that you are committed to for the long term?
Well, it's a 2-year pilot program, and as I said, we'll look at it again at the end of this season and try to tweak it and make it even better. But based on what we've seen so far, and if the division playoffs are any indication, this is going to be something that's here to stay and result in a tremendous amount of excitement.
Well, best of luck, and I wish you the best with the tournament as it unfolds. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll have more Varsity Life coming your way right after this. Coming up, more on the state basketball tournament when John Galuli of Providence Journal joins us in studio. And for the most up-to-date information on Rhode Island high school sports, go to the official website of the Interscholastic League at RIIL.org.
Hi, we're the same.